It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield, TGIF, with our amazing panelists, Fat Steven Seagal co-host, Keith, my partner in crime, Dork Knight Lee is here from Las Vegas, Viking out of time is here from the UK, Sil Abdul is here from the imaginary land of his bedroom, and Deleted Scene is here hiding in South Carolina behind his avatar. I'm hoping without that fucking monster fan you sometimes have going. And our guest today is none other than the amazing John Trent from Bounding into Comics. You know, it's hard to believe such a cute guy is so hated by so many people. You're so controversial, mate. You're so controversial.
I don't get a lot of hate mail though.
Or you just don't read it.
I maybe on Twitter, but we don't get a lot of people hating on us in like sending stuff through the email, the website's contact form or anything like that. There is a guy who like says F. His name is like F. John Trent in the comment section.
Oh man, that's an honor. I wish someone say that. F. Sil Abdul. Let's
F. Sil Abdul.
Man, well, Gary says it every show. So.
Yeah, it's sad. You know, the people I like, I inevitably say "fuck you" to the most.
Get my dose.
But I wanted to welcome you to the show, John. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to finally invite you on here because you're really somebody that I follow. You're kind of at the forefront of this war we have with wokeism, and which oddly, you know, because as apolitical as we are on this show, we are not apolitical when it comes to sociopolitics, when it comes to opinions about identity and shit like that, and where it belongs and where it doesn't fucking belong. And I know Keith had something he wanted to say too, and welcome you to the show.
Oh, well, first of all, again, welcome, John, and
good to be here.
Really enjoy your site.
Thank you.
Listen, yeah, my feelings about a lot of this are well known, and in case they aren't, as we lose John, in case they aren't, I'd like to make it clear that you know my thought about my thought about the woke entertainment culture is this: it definitely is something to see people that profess having some kind of want or need to balance things out by inviting more women and people of color. And yet they seem to be obsessed with not allowing or having these people create anything new, which would be more beneficial than having them work on stuff that was created by, again, in many cases, white men, you know. I don't see anything wrong with people that want to pursue something, want to help someone that probably looks like me or is a woman or whatever. But when you have people that just don't seem to really care about providing anything new, it kind of weakens their argument a little bit. And especially for what we've noticed out of the Marvel and DC comics, which is part of the reason why they're not doing so hot, you know. So
they're getting kicked out of their building.
Yeah. Understatement. As one company basically gets kicked out of their building, and the other one could possibly just get kicked out. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it is no secret that even Disney is just waiting for an excuse to just not have Marvel anymore.
And they're waiting for DC. They're waiting to see what DC does.
It is unfortunate because I really do believe that both companies are not being used to their fullest. I just think that at this point in time, we have two companies that are mainly being seen as just IP generation devices or IP holders that the major corporations that own them are just keeping them around to be able to use what they have, rather than allowing both companies to continue to expand and to explore new things and be able to entertain everyone that has become a fan of both those companies over the decades. That's all.
Do you have a question in there, Keith?
My question would be, my question would be, for you personally. I mean, what is one particular title that you think has gotten really a bad rap as far as comics go, with all of the woke stuff that has gone on for Marvel and DC? Pick any one you want.
So you're saying that's like it has a bad rap, like that it doesn't deserve, or it does.
It's gotten worse given the conditions over the last 5 to 7 years.
So I basically stopped reading Marvel and DC altogether.
When?
After they got rid of Rebirth, pretty much. Like basically when Kelly Sue DeConnick came in, took over Aquaman, and I was basically done with that. Because I actually was enjoying a lot of the Rebirth stuff. I like the Rebirth Flash. Tom King's stuff I didn't really enjoy it with the Batman stuff. The first couple stories were okay, and then it just got just myopic. Just like, I don't know, it was boring to me. But I don't know, I'm just trying to think. The Marvel Now stuff in like 2015, I think, was just absolutely horrendous. That's when you had Jason Aaron like having those like insane lectures with Jane Foster Thor, and there's just like one I think it's like Mighty Thor #5 or something like that, where like Crusher Creel is fighting Jane Foster Thor, and there's just all this like just super horrible dialogue in there, and like I don't know, it was disgusting. I mean, I have a whole like video series of just like cringe comic modern comic panels. I think I've done like 3 or 4 of those, and we got an article up on the website that like has a bunch of them chronicled. So I mean, it's hard to like name one specific series or title because it's just kind of widespread throughout all of them. It's not specific to a title. I mean,
feels like that Jane Foster really hit you in the heart.
And the Jane Foster Thor one. I mean, have you read that stuff, man? It's pretty horrible. It's really bad. It's really bad.
I have both the first release and the re-release of that cover with her on the front, her whole face front. Never opened it because I'm afraid it'll be like the Necronomicon from Evil Dead, and I won't say the right words, and something will happen.
There's this one guy, I forget what his name, who was the writing it, but they did like they had an Exile series that was just really bad too. It was like they did an old woman Kamala Khan, and it sucked. It was just so preachy. It was a guy who thinks that corn pops were racist. What's that?
That ugly comic?
Oh
no, it was a couple years ago. Oh yeah, I think that was the Thor. I think it's issue 5 of that one.
yeah, I quit reading comics in '86 right after that marketing campaign for Secret Wars. I felt so misused that I just gave up on comics. But then graphic novels and trade paperbacks were becoming a thing, so I started going to that so I could get the entire story arc in one sitting, rather than having to wait month to month to find out what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think I like doing that too. That's how I like to read as well.
I thought it was the words got too small, Gary.
Oh my God, fuck you, Steven. All these jokes about me being old. Das Wolfen asks, will Discovery sell off DC Comics? This is something yet to be seen. You got any thoughts on that, John?
No, I think that they are going to keep it because they want to still have I guess they could technically sell off the comic property and keep the movie and TV rights.
Well, they gotta maintain the licensing,
right?
Because what's the point of owning DC characters if you don't own them. And,
Right. And
the other problem I see with them selling it is how are they going to create new material with new IPs? If they're not creating new IPs, then what's the point of owning a comic company?
The other thing is, again, as I continue to see, they may if there's a way to figure out how to get rid of one of these companies, Warner Brothers or Disney will figure it out. All I know is as soon as either one of those companies figures it out, the other one is right behind it. We're probably separated by maybe 2 weeks to a month before the other company does it, because they see no use in it.
Right.
That was already established when Marvel went to Disney. And I think they're just waiting. Both companies are just waiting to figure it out. It's one of the unfortunate things about the current state of the comic book industry. Both Marvel and DC are tied together. No matter how many Marvel fans may not feel that way, given how much money they've made with the films. Whatever happens to DC Comics will happen to Marvel Comics eventually, if not sooner.
Yeah, because we've been talking this for a while, and I'm curious how you feel about that. That Marvel is just waiting to see what DC does.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. I don't know. I don't really see them selling at all. I mean, Jim Lee has made it very clear that they're trying to transition to the trade paperbacks and sell some of try and keep selling some of their old stuff. I think Ethan Van Sciver's kind of talked about that a lot, is that they might stop producing new stuff and it'll just be a kind of like a clearinghouse with their old stuff, because that's the stuff that's making money. And what you'll end up seeing is you'll see just like the screenwriters for television shows and films being the ones creating like that new IP, and they won't need to really use the comic books. I mean, because even if you were trying to use the comic books to create new IP to see if people are interested in or like what Shueisha does with manga, where they literally have the editor telling us that they look to see what's successful that people are reading, and then they're like, okay, we're going to make an anime about that, and then we can even get more book sales. That's not how Marvel and DC operate, clearly, because they keep trying, especially with Marvel. I mean, they're trying to push this Kamala Khan character on us, and everything that she's in, it just the Miss Marvel character, Kamala Khan. Yeah. They keep trying to push her.
Just making it up. She's real.
Yeah,
she's real enough to have killed an Avengers game.
Yeah, everything that character is involved in basically turns to dust, and is a financial failure. I mean, we have Square Enix telling us that Marvel's Avengers game was trash, and they actually tried to hide her involvement as like the main character as well. Waited to do some kind of obscure interview before they tried to really push her out to the forefront, and were trying to make it seem like it was going to be an actual Avengers game.
What about this thing that is happening right now, John, with these characters getting swapped for different versions of the characters that also have all this identity politics? Because maybe those are the IPs that now both Marvel and DC are going to be looking forward to having, selling maybe properties but keeping IPs or something like that, like this John Kent that is now bisexual, whatever, and then keeping
he's
that
gay.
as the staple
instead
of his dad, something.
Yeah, I think that's part of I think that's a part of a whole agenda that they're pushing throughout all entertainment. I mean, it's not just Marvel and DC. We just kind of noticed it with Marvel and DC because that's kind of the niches that we follow. But if you look at a lot of the other entertainment out there, you see that it's usually in there too. And I think it's just they're trying to kind of degrade the moral fiber of our country and our society through a lot of this stuff. And because I believe that a lot of that stuff is disordered. And they're trying to make it seem like it's normal when it's not, or that seem like that's like the way of the world, or that's natural when it clearly isn't. And then they try and paint us as like the evil people when we decide to say like, no, this is wrong. But yeah, I definitely think that's what, and they say this too. I mean,
Well, they make
Yeah.
less than 5% of the total
Well-
population, but when you start seeing in the comics and in the movies and everything, they're trying to make it look like they're a larger number, and hence the bringing about of calling us cisgendered is to make us feel demoralized and the smaller number.
Well,
And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
but Gary, we have a perfect opportunity to make a new band called Twisted Sister.
Yeah,
Sister? Yeah, get it? Yeah, we can do that.
We're
So
gonna
what
come out
I
of
find
Ukraine.
interesting, John, is on this panel we have a mishmash of politically diverse people. That's where our diversity is not through our race, through our sex, our identity. It is really through our thought. That is true diversity. And we have people on our panel, and we make it this way because even if I don't agree with somebody, I like hearing somebody that's got an argument that's a good, solid argument. And so our panel is made up always of diverse people, of ways of thinking. And yet all of us can agree with what you do with bounding into comics. And as controversial as people try to make you out to be, you're only controversial to a very small fucking number of people.
Yeah, a small minority.
Yeah, like two.
I'm not political though. I want to correct Gary on this one. I have no political affiliation at all. They're all bloodsuckers.
Me neither. Yeah, I hate all politics.
So
I love this site.
I know they're trying to correct me here, but I'm going to remind them: you have a fucking political view, whether you want to talk about it.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Whatever's opposite of you, Gary. That's my view.
You can still judge a man
You're
without
being a
dealing with
contrarian.
politics.
You're being a contrarian here.
Don't label
all
me.
you
What
are.
is this, Twitter?
Because I've heard your opinion. So shut
The
up.
only
and let's
politics
get
that I'm
back to our
going to
guest.
push is to vote for Backdoor Jerry. That's all.
I do think there's
Vote for backdoor Pedro.
Okay, John, I'm sorry. We're derailing here for a reason.
Yeah, I actually the point that you bring up, and I know they're joking, they're cracking on you here, but I mean I kind of agree with them. Not everything is political. That's what they want everything to be, though. They want everything to be political so they can use it as a wedge. That's exactly part of the. That's exactly what they're trying to do with this stuff. They're trying to make it political to drive a wedge between people and get people to actively I would argue they want people to hate each other, which is just despite all of their preaching about tolerance and love, when you clearly see what they are actually when you see what they actually do, it's the complete opposite of what they say. But yeah, that's what I think they actually trying to do, and I do think there are things that are clearly not political that they try and make political.
Yeah, and there's a world of difference between politics and sociopolitics, and we keep it centric towards that. And whether you have a political, if you have what you refer to as a non-political opinion, then you're apolitical, which is still an opinion. So there you go, buddy.
Yeah, thinking Iron Man
should still be.
Thinking that Iron Man should be Tony Stark and he should look like the way he was originally created in the 60s or whatever. I mean, that's not a political opinion, but they're trying to make
they're
that
trying
a
to make it
political
one
opinion.
exactly.
Because they're trying to do something that we have seen time and time again, which is just preach on one side of the spectrum. They are not trying to just bring in something like what people like Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams used to do with, for instance, Green Arrow and Green Lantern. Right? They showed just something, but they didn't tell you directly as a reader. You're wrong if you do not do this, or if you do not think this way. And that's what they are doing right now. They are telling you you're wrong if you do not think this way or that other way, but if you do not pursue this sort of diversity, and that's what we don't like. That's what we don't want. Yeah,
I mean, you look at a lot of these people. They actually put people in the comics that they hate. I mean, Doug Ernst was turned into a Moon Knight villain. They created a Moon Knight villain named Ernst. So they're actively putting you in the stories to make you out to be the villain. And then, I mean, you saw Ta-Nehisi Coates did it with Jordan Peterson and Red Skull.
Yeah.
So it's very obvious what they're doing. And then not only can you see what they're doing in the works that they create, and this obviously not just exclusive to comics, you see it in television and movies as well, but they are out there telling you that they're doing. I mean, just listen to any of the interviews that Victoria Alonso does about why they're doing the things that they're doing. I mean, she's very clear about what they're doing. I mean, I was just looking at, I guess Disney, was right before I came on, I was about to write up a story about Disney did this response to this bill in Florida, and they're telling you that they're just going to keep creating this content to shape the world in the way they want it to do. I mean, Bob Chapek made it very clear what he wants to do with Disney. He wants to make the world into Disney's image. I mean, he's said that in his I think it was in the shareholders meeting last year. So they tell you what they're doing.
Yeah, they're not hiding it at all. And what I find is
Lord of the Rings too.
Well, they take a lot of their plays right out of the Marxist playbook, using race to direct conversation all the time, and creating problems where problems really didn't exist. Because, I was always proud of the work that guys like Keith and I did to bridge that gap growing up in the 80s. That, we grew up not caring about color and how we became friends with everybody across the spectrum. And then all of a sudden now we see these guys trying to undo it and try to turn it back to what it was before, or even worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was not to get religious on here, but I did a story earlier this week. It was guy, comic creator. He's also an iconographer. His name is Jonathan Pajot. He's got a graphic novel called God's Dog up on Indiegogo. But he's actually talking about how you have the unifying message is Christ, and that's what unifies everyone is that message, and it's not. And they are trying to basically divide everyone with all these other different messages, and it doesn't matter what you look like, how you think, as long as you still have that kind of unifying message. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, even though I'm agnostic, I'm Catholic, and it's one of those things I share with Graham, because Graham and I've talked about growing up Catholic. And
Graham Nolan.
Yeah. By the way, I did want to point out
Tucci too.
I was so excited, and I tagged Julia, his wife, and him today when I said I saw Batman last night, and I was really happy they finally put him in an acknowledgement at the end of the credits. That Graham is finally mentioned at the end of a Batman movie.
Yeah, I saw he posted that up on Facebook that he was getting credited. So they credited a ton of people too. So that was really good.
I didn't see Chuck's name, but
I think he was in there. I think The Verge had an article where he was there.
I'm gonna have to go.
He was laughing at. He thought Greg Rucka's blurb was funny.
Greg Rucka's, yeah.
Yeah.
But, we're going to get into Batman tomorrow. We're not going to do any spoilers, but we're going to talk about what I liked and what I disliked about the film. And,
I loved it. I won't say anything, but when I was actually, I went in with very low expectations and left very satisfied. I mean, it had its issues, but it reminded me of you guys ever play the Arkham games?
Yeah.
It was the most detective Batman ever. You know what I mean? It was a lot like the video games to me. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it today.
Sorry.
If you want to join us
fight tomorrow about that.
But I've always been curious because I also know Matt McGloin. Do you guys know each other? Do you talk?
Not really. I mean, I've messaged him maybe a couple times through Twitter, but that's about it.
Yeah. He got irritated with me one day. And I thought it was funny. And I put him straight about what was going on because, he's a little bit, I feel that Matt goes to extremes sometimes. And because I work for IDW and I happen to know there's a lot of good people over there. Yes, there are some woke assholes, but everybody that I'm friends with at IDW are not like that. And Tom Waltz is one of my best friends, and we were business partners for years. And he's a senior writer.
I was actually reading. So I know Chuck and I can't remember what his name is right now. Chuck's got this Antarctic picked it up, and I guess it'd been on the back burner for a while, and it had actually gotten greenlit and it's called Unprepped, this 5-issue miniseries, and it got greenlit at IDW right away, but then it got put on the back burner, and basically they never decided to publish it at all. And now I guess the rights reverted back to Chuck and his co-writer, whose name escapes me right now. I'm blanking on who it is, but the guy he did Robin Year One with, and did a bunch of the DC stuff with back in like the 90s. But he got the rights back, so now they're publishing it through Antarctic. So, but I mean, yeah, obviously there's good people everywhere. I mean, we have those reports about a lot of the people that work on the movie production sets. They're not virtue signaling all this crap that all the celebrities say.
A lot of that's done at an executive level. And
yeah.
Once it gets handed down, it's almost like a mandate. So of course they got to go do it.
Yeah, I mean, you see that across the board. I mean, we have so many of these controversies where they're the anti-racist training that they have for all these like corporations. Disney had it. We know that J.J. Abrams has it. It's in he posted it publicly, his guidelines.
Yeah, you can't work here unless you're part of the group think.
Yeah, so I mean, they're definitely trying to. It's clearly coming from an executive authority, and they're trying to like indoctrinate all of their employees into it.
Yeah, because Keith and I have both talked about this ad nauseum over the last 2 years, technically 3 years. That this is what happens when you get corporate filmmaking,
Yes.
and this is a problem with Disney. This is a problem with Warner Brothers. Although I am holding out hope that Zaslav is going to make enough of a change to where we might see a crack in the sky of sunlight, to where we can see more creative and less executively driven filmmaking.
So I'm not against like the producers putting limits on creative people. I mean, I've listened to a number of creative people, and they say that's actually like makes them be more creative when they have to actually be creative within a box that they're given to figure out how to like really like create good stories. So I'm not like against that per se. But I do think my argument on that is that all of these corporations have just all they can think about is this ideology. And so when you specifically just have this ideology, they can't create anything outside of their ideology. And that ideology clearly just creates like bad products that are not entertaining, and in many cases are just insulting.
Yeah, it's the culture of check boxes, and you cannot create something truly creatively if you have to make sure you're checking boxes.
That's
because
more offensive than anything else. Checking a box is more offensive than any group. It's like, what is this like? What is this, right? So I agree.
Yeah, like I mean, so because there are a lot of really good movies that were made by these like huge Hollywood studios. I mean, I love Die Hard, so it's a great film, and Gladiator and stuff like that. So clearly, you can be creative and make like good stuff within a studio environment, like a corporate environment. There's plenty of examples through the past. It's just now that those corporations have been captured by this ideology, and then they can't make anything outside of that ideology. That's my argument.
Yeah, and also the yes men that are always around, like right now we have a lot of people that just say, yeah, whatever you say, yeah, whatever you want, because they are desperate for the job, But if you go back to, for example, the 1970s when Paramount got the rights to The Godfather, and Francis Ford Coppola has said this time and time again, he had to fight for every decision that he was making because Paramount didn't agree, like for instance, they didn't want The Godfather to be a period piece because it was going to be a little bit more expensive. And Coppola had to fight for the movie to be in the period that it was written, in the novel. And then that sort of thing, we don't get to see that anymore, because now people are just like, yes, to everything that corporations say has to be into the movie,
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars was Fox, right? Fox approved that. You have to have people in leadership that are willing to take risks.
Alan Ladd in that situation, yeah. Alan Ladd Jr., I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then you also, I mean, I was listening to, because just Lord of the Rings stuff has been so huge right now. I've been listening to some stuff. I listened to an interview with Peter Jackson, and he was actually lauding the executives at New Line Cinema for literally approving all 3 films to film at once, and huge risk. I mean, that's so much that's a huge financial burden to do 3 films without even knowing if you're going to get a return on a first one. So
Well,
and now it's within.
They were kind of doing that with the original with Richard Donner's Superman.
Right.
If that had gone through the way that Donner had planned, that would have been the first movie that we would have been aware of that was filmed back to back and to save money. And it didn't quite work out like that when he got fired after the first movie came out, despite its success.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so there's just a lot of different things that happen. I mean, clearly that example with Francis Ford Coppola, he did a good job fighting for that. And then obviously we got what we got, right? The studios did make it a period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to watching this. I think it's going to be on Paramount Plus, this movie about the making of The Godfather and how it all happened. And there's some funny stories that I know from interviews over the years that Sinatra was really pissed about his representation in the book and film. And he confronted Mario Puzo in a restaurant that they both would go to frequently. And Puzo just kind of brushed him off, saying, well, you're blonde and blue-eyed Italian. I'm Southern Italian. So you go to who you know and we'll see what happens. And Sinatra just like didn't know how to confront that because he's saying, I'm Sicilian.
That's funny. Yeah.
You're Northern Italian.
He's like, I have the family connections.
Yeah.
He actually knew some mafia people, Puzo.
Oh, he did, and there's apparently depicting that in this film, that how he got away with what he did, exposing the mob the way he did, and in particular, I'm hoping to address who the actual mobster is that he fashioned, Marlon
Vito
Brando.
Corleone,
Because he is based off of a specific mobster.
Quickly, don't mind Matt Vader. He's just jealous he doesn't have a Capitals shirt. He's just raging in the chat. I think he's virtue signaling how much he hates the red shirt.
I'd come on and join you, but I can't talk to people like John when he's wearing an ugly ass Washington Capitals shirt.
Should have said I'm wearing a red shirt, so I'm probably gonna die.
You spelled Vader. You spelled Capitals wrong.
Yeah, and
wow. Hey man, 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, and it's time I think we should take a second to say hello to everybody in the chat. I want to say hi, of course, to PJO, who is Dork Knight's mother, Purple Valkyrie, who is a part of our panel but is never on. She shows up in the chat, supports us. I love her. Zax, who is our production manager, who's in the chat and not on the show, helping me. Martin Acosta Santana. He is a very good friend to this channel. I love the guy. Flaccid Phoenix is a sometimes panelist with our show and somebody who we support and love, even though we don't agree on a lot of things. Kabuto Studios, I don't know them. I'm assuming that's you.
That's Spencer. That's our associate editor. Yeah.
Good to meet you, Kabuto. Spencer. Das Wolfen is a close friend of Keith's and mine. We know him personally from Springfield, Missouri. Well, when we were living in Springfield, and he actually comes into town. Let's see who else is in our chat. That's awesome. Deleted Scenes, who's also on the show. So shut up, Deleted. Let's see. Gosh, I saw some other people pop up. 4K jumped in. Howdy, 4K. And of course, our good friend Matt Vader, who is a very good friend of ours. And hey, you're posting in the chat.
That's right.
That
was yesterday. That was last night. I didn't get to watch though.
I don't know if people are aware it's you on Twitter and all that when you respond.
Yeah, it's primarily me,
but it's you.
Spencer has access to it, but he usually only posts the stream links for when we go live.
I know. All right.
Hey, it's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs, the girl with the longest fucking name on the internet. And welcome to the show, Courtney. You know we love you. And if you guys got any questions for John to talk about things that he talks about in his online magazine, please feel free to write. Let us know. And also feel free to do that as a $1 super chat because every little bit helps.
I'm not going to use $1
John, but when can we expect the swimsuit calendar or section?
There probably won't be one. We used to do pinups, and we used to do these pinup stories, but we don't really do those anymore. But yeah, there probably won't be a swimsuit calendar.
I bet I didn't spend $1 now.
The only person missing, well, we got a few people missing, but the lovely Sherry is almost always here, and it's we haven't seen her jump in yet, and she's a regular. I think she follows you too, John. And she's a very opinionated girl in the nerddom now, and she's oddly very dirty for a girl that looks like she's a sweetheart. But so Kabuto,
what do you mean by dirty? Like dirty mouth?
She makes dirty
thing, right?
jokes.
Okay,
she posts dirty memes. And I'm always shocked. I'll laugh my ass off at what she posts, but I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. She reminds me of my daughter. So it freaks me out when even my nieces and my daughters post these things. And I'm like, you kill me. Every time you girls post something like that, you kill me just a little bit as an uncle or as a dad.
Who is that so I can follow him? Who's that?
The lovely Sherry.
oh, yeah. I follow you. Okay, great. All right.
You know who she is. Like you don't know who that is still. Shut up. So
we're just getting started.
I went to the school of Don Rickles and Johnny Carson, so I talk mean to my panelists.
We don't get paid either.
You don't. It's not love unless you throw a little bit of shit in there with it.
You are, Fat Steven. You know you are.
No.
And seriously, I want to commend you that you could understand Viking Out of Time without subtitles.
But we're creating a game for me so that
See,
Gary
Carson, I don't know what the fuck
he's
he's saying. You know? He's saying something. I hear you know. But the shit just before it, I have no idea what he said, John.
That's why I'm going to ask you, John, if you want to chip in, for the GoFundMe for Gary's dictionary. He can finally understand.
Or a magnifying glass so he can read all.
So he can read the subtitles or something.
Yeah, see, this
I do. I got a story about that. I was in Spain studying abroad in like 2009.
What was her name?
I don't know what her name was. But the Scottish guy came up to us on the street, and I had a couple drinks. I could not understand him at all. I thought he was speaking Spanish because I didn't understand what he was saying. And then so I was trying to get someone else to translate what he was saying, and then he was like, "This guy's not speaking Spanish; he's speaking English." He just has a super thick Scottish accent. And then once I started like actually trying to like really focus on what he was saying, I could understand. But
yeah, I had that happen. I've told that story, and it was horrifying when I found out it was English. And I was 13 and I fled. I just ran away going, I can't handle this. So embarrassed that he was speaking English and I didn't understand a fucking word he said. I do understand Viking. I just like to tease him.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about some of that stuff behind you right now, John.
Sure.
What's that Deus Vault, Chicago? What are all those books?
Yeah, so Deus Vault is John Della Rosa's graphic novel. It's about a Spanish knight in the Crusades, and he's coming back from the Crusades, and he gets this vision of this demon, and he decides to like go through this portal to track the demon, and he kind of gets ambushed, and basically he's like stranded in this like hell world, and he goes around and like confronts like all these demons and has to like do battle with them. Very like kind of Conan-esque. He's fighting. He's got a big sword. And then there's like these people who have been enslaved called like there's like these cat people that he created that are like enslaved by the demons. And then Chicago Typewriter is by Brandon Fiadino. It's kind of a steampunk fantasy, dark fantasy. It's been a while since I read this one, but obviously the Chicago Typewriter is like a machine gun, right?
Right.
Because you're like a typewriter, an old typewriter. But basically, the love of his life has been captured by some dark spirits, and he's got to track them down. So there's a lot of like detective stuff going on mixed with supernatural. It's really fun stuff, and he's got a flying car and everything. Pretty cool.
Oh, nice spread.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good artwork.
So, and then I got Duggan's Soul Finder, which is about a Catholic priest who is fighting off a demon. Which is right here.
Oh, that's a matte varnish on there. That's nice.
Oh,
so
that makes the artwork pop. I love that.
Yeah,
shit.
I love that.
When I did Code Word Geronimo for IDW, they did the same thing with our cover, so the helicopters really stood out.
It's almost like a spot UV.
Who's the publisher?
It's Iconic Comics, so it's I think it's like Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini's company, and Doug is with them too. So they do like Common America, and they did, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, like Common Rider, so Common America. And then I got Billy Tucci's omnibus that he just sent out.
Holy shit! How thick is that?
It's huge.
Oh my god!
It's as thick as a. Never mind.
That's what she said.
And I'm not going to open this one because I'm not going to try and get your channel struck for
nudity. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, there's our calendar. Open it up.
Because I don't know if what page I'll turn to.
Gotcha.
The dirtiest.
Well, I wanted to go over a few things, but two things popped up in the news in the last 24 hours. One of them is this little doodad, and I wanted to get your reaction to it.
Is it the Disney Plus going ad mode?
Oh, I do want to point out. Oh, you are. Oh, I'm still here. But this is for Matt Vader. This is my.
Hold on, I can make you larger. Hold on.
This is my Caps of Shanka. I actually got that I got from the Ukraine a couple years ago, and I just got the red Ushanka, and then you take, they have those like tumbler cups with like the patches in them. So we smashed one of those and then ironed that onto the hat.
That's cool. That is so cool. The two stories that popped up are Skydance Animation brings The Incredibles' Brad Bird into fold to direct his animated film creation Ray Gun. What is this about, Keith? I think you were the one that shared this.
Ray Gun is an idea that Brad Bird had many, many years ago. And basically it was described to me as kind of being a noir mystery in a kind of futuristic, almost steampunk type of way. A little bit of Sky Captain mixed in there with it. But because of the way the story was and what it was covering, it was well ahead of its time. This is before even CGI was a thing, that he came up with this idea. So there was no way that he could originally do it. And now the technology has reached a point where they can. And
well, sometimes you just have to wait. You got anything on this, John? Is this on your radar?
I haven't seen anything about that. I usually stay away from press releases for the most part.
Yeah, I get it. It's usually shill stuff. It's for promoting studio. And
that sounds fun though. I'm not gonna lie.
It does sound good. This, on the other hand, is interesting to me, and I'm not sure exactly how to feel about it. But the boy star Anthony Starr charged with drunken assault while filming a movie in Spain. He is going into
12 months probation or something like that.
Yeah, he's in probation, but he has to attend a program or something. And and friend of ours, said, "Is this something that's going to get his character killed quicker?" I don't know. He's a good actor. I don't know how I feel about him in this show, because I loved him on his show on Skinamax. He was really good in that. But as Homelander, I've never really been sure of him, because I don't think he's Captain America handsome, which is what that character really needed.
Drugs.
I thought he did well. I watched the first season. I thought he did well. I stopped watching after the first season when the showrunner, whose name escapes me right now, decided to just preach about how anti-white the show was going to be. So it's like,
I love waking up knowing how bad I am being white. Thank you, Harley Quinn.
I always tell people, do not think for a second your show's going to do well when you point a finger at a major portion of your own audience. And when you do that,
and then it wasn't just that too either. I mean, he said he was going to put all the political agenda in it too. So
I didn't really get that. I watched second season. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as Invincible. I think that's a much better show, better written.
It is.
God,
but
man,
I do enjoy The Boys.
That train scene, my God.
Oh, the train scene, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good.
Do you need a minute by yourself there, Dorg? You're getting kind of like, heavy here. That train scene was so.
Didn't it even come out on I want to say it came out on Father's Day too, which was even more messed up because that train scene is it's the father holding his, just killing everybody, just holding his son's head right there, and that scene is so gnarly, man. I love that scene.
What are some of your favorite shows on TV right now, John?
So I have an 18-month-old toddler, so I don't really watch a lot of TV as much as what I was watching before I had her. I'm trying to think, what have I been watching? I did try and watch Wheel of Time, and that sucked.
Oh my God.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I stopped at episode 5. I didn't even finish it. I did watch the League of Legends show Arcane. My sister-in-law bought Netflix for a month, so I got access to that, and so I binged Arcane when she had access to that. So I watched that. I enjoyed that. I thought Arcane was really well done. I enjoyed it. I really did like it.
Oh, it was a damn good show. Great.
Yeah.
I loved the way they did the animation, even though it was done in 3D. They utilized that art in such a way that it still felt like you were looking at animation.
I like the character development too.
Oh,
the artwork was gorgeous.
Well, they wanted to do
fantastic.
They wanted to do Harley because that character, I forget her name, is a clear homage to
Jinx.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Jinx is clearly Harley Quinn, and they felt that Harley Quinn was never sufficiently explained for her insanity. So they wanted to make sure to really go into detail of what drove her over the hill.
Yeah, I think I might like Jinx better than Harley Quinn. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too.
Especially the modern stuff we see with Harley. I thought Jinx's story was extremely interesting. You felt for the character, but you're also holy crap, stuff she's doing is absolutely heinous. And that was with I forget the industrialist's name. I thought he was very well done, very interesting. Who became her father figure?
Did you have a chance to check out Dragon's Blood, the whole Dota that Robert Meyer Burnett I think helped co-produce?
No, I didn't watch any of the Dota stuff. I did watch the Dragon's Dogma stuff a little bit. I couldn't really get into that.
Dragon's Blood, if you liked Arcane, you might like Dragon's Blood. It's very well done.
And then obviously I watched My Hero Academia. I've been watching some Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a supernatural anime. And then I was watching trying to get caught back up with Attack on Titan. I'm way behind. So I was starting from the beginning actually and watching a little bit of that. But those are I've been watching just, if I watch anything, it's usually that. It's usually anime or animated. I haven't been watching a lot of live action stuff, again, aside from the Wheel of Time, I shouldn't have watched that. I've heard good things about Reacher, so I might check out Reacher.
I still got to catch up with that. Yeah.
I do
Reacher is woke, but it's woke in a way that I can tolerate.
Okay, I haven't heard that. So.
Have you seen Arcane yet?
Yes, he was already talking about it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Reacher, so I have to check that out. And I do like the actor. I thought he was really good in Titans, as horrible as that show is. I thought anytime
Hawkins was also good in
Smallville, he was good.
He was, as their version of Aquaman.
Right. So I like him as an actor. He seems pretty good. I know a lot of people are saying he should be the next Captain America because he looks like Captain America.
Well, I don't know if they want that because he's awfully manly.
He is a big dude.
Are you talking about Reacher? That guy that plays Reacher?
Yeah.
He's he's massive.
Awesome actor.
I mean, he was big when he was on Smallville. He wasn't buff, but
he was
a
Aquaman,
big guy,
right?
Yeah, he was Aquaman on Smallville.
I love it when I say something and then you guys fucking act like you just realized it after I already said it.
No,
He
it's
was
because
scrolling
he carried that I
the
realized.
credit, Gary.
Man.
I did it on purpose. Yeah,
Hey, Trent, did you watch Arcane?
I didn't say they were the smartest panel.
I will pay him, and I will love him, and I will call him woke.
These guys are really good, man. I really do love our panel. I just I have to shit on them every once in a while.
I just learned never to agree with you. Like I've been hanging in there.
All right.
We are in the brightest, but we are the loudest, certainly.
Yeah, something like that. Now, Alan Richardson is a really good actor. Surprisingly so. He was good, even though I didn't like Titans. I thought he was really good.
The Hawk and Dove stuff was great. I love the
In
Hawk
fact,
and
I
Dove
wish
stuff.
they would just do a Hawk and Dove show and fuck Titans.
Yeah.
It's just not a good show.
Titans did have one of the best. It had one of the best episodes of television I'd seen in a long time. It was second season, episode 4. It was the Aqualad episode. As a standalone episode, that episode is really good. It also had one of the worst episodes of a superhero television show I've ever watched, which was the season 2 premiere, which was absolute garbage. Where they were tying up the end of the first season with the fight against Trigon, and then trying to introduce Deathstroke, and it was absolutely horrible.
Well,
like Raven just goes up and touches Trigon and like defeats him, and it's the worst. It was so bad.
With that stuff, I mean, that kind of reminds me, that I'm a big fan of Doom Patrol, which, again, that's another show that's mainly handled by Goldman, because I think Goldman also is the lead guy for Titans, and he also handles Doom Patrol.
Yeah, Akiva.
Akiva Goldsman, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Just
a fan
Star Trek
of his,
too.
but I do like Doom Patrol. I think it's fun.
Oh,
because it's a comic that nobody really gave a shit about.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. That's one a bunch of my friends are telling me I need to get on is Doom Patrol.
It's crude as hell, but it's fun.
What is the show that came out that was literally the Black Superwoman? Because I even forget the name. What was that one?
Naomi.
Oh yeah, I still don't care.
It's 5 episodes in, and it's like already lost half of its audience from the first episode.
Literally, the guy ripped off the Raimi's Spider-Man scene with Tobey Maguire with the mirror and the glasses.
What are you talking about? What is this? That you're talking
about? Complete Garbage, the collection, brought to you by CW. We're almost sold.
What's the name of the show you're talking about?
It's called Naomi.
I never even heard of it. Okay,
it's made for 13-year-old girls.
Okay,
which 13-year-old girls?
Oh. My poor mom. Did you see what she just said?
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, look, no, your mom's cool. You can like whatever you want. No, your mom is cool. Your mom is cool.
Yeah, we're not judging you. It's okay to like Naomi
it's
at
fine.
31.
Look,
okay.
I tell people all the time, it's okay to like shitty stuff.
That's why we're here with Gary. Because he shits on us.
Oh man!
But I understand.
Are you having fun yet, John?
Was saying.
I'm having a blast. Yeah, you also. I mean, I agree. You can like what you want to like. I'm just going to disagree with you.
That brings a great point. That brings a great point here. This is a great segue because I'm going to step in here with this question because this is the thing that's been bothering me ever since Mandalorian came out.
This rant is brought to you by Fat Steven Seagal.
This ain't no rant. This is something that everyone has to start taking into consideration if you're not doing that already. It's the fact that this started probably, I guess, with the Mandalorian. The whole how can you like Mandalorian but you hate Disney Star Wars? How you can support this? How you can support this? Divide that's been going in the middle, whether or not you like something or dislike it. And if all of a sudden, if your opinion's opposite of someone that you're a friend with or you're an associate with, either you're automatically considered just being anti-woke or anti-SJW because you think that's what's there. You are put in this corner by people around you that you should be able to disagree to or agree to disagree and just move the hell on. This thing that's been going on for a while has been bothering the shit out of me. Everyone has this snowflake.
Not a rant at all. That was not.
No, they have this snowflake mentality. Like, hey, I liked Captain Kirk. Good, I like Picard. Awesome. And that's not like I like Captain Kirk. You're going to hell. You're going to hell.
Look, John,
you know what I mean? You know what? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Alone,
I know. Yeah.
To give you an example, Tom,
fucking hell,
Script Doctor, and I are all three being kind of attacked for our stances on the fact that as much as it was fun to watch The Batman, it's a dumb movie. and it's not written very well.
It's
I think I have to say something about it, mate, because I just can't stand that people that have in the past supported Tom, for example, or Midnight Sage all the time, and that have also benefited from doing the same shite of all the YouTube channels, like outrage videos and review bombing and stuff like that, and now coming out and, dude, you don't like the movie for a fucking phrase. I mean, come on. These motherfuckers are the same bastards that all the time complaining about the comic books and complaining about the Rings of Power stuff. And I don't like that shite either. But at least I've got the balls to stand by what I believe in, and I just don't fucking like it when they are like, oh no, it was just a fucking phrase. I mean, it's woke or it's not woke. Are you against it or in favor of it? There's not middle ground. Gary has said many times, Gary has said it many times. I don't care if it's woke, if it's well written, and I can respect that. But he has always had that vision, But those people that are like, no, hate everything that is woke, and now they are praising this fucking shit of a movie just because that they liked this motherfucker sparkling vampire fucking bastard, and they are going all about no, you dislike it because it's
so we're gonna
one phrase. I mean, come on.
We're gonna talk about the Batman tomorrow, right? Because I feel like I'm
John, you want to read Courtney's comment here?
John probably feels like he never left his toddler with this crowd. I don't.
But I want to add what the Viking's saying. That there's that thing that he was just talking about. We were just talking about. Then there you got the other camp of people who try to criticize you and label you and literally either put you down or come at you because you didn't like it, and they automatically assume you didn't like it because you think it's woke or you think it's but even though you don't say anything about it, they automatically try to put you in that. Yeah. Like there's all these different sects now where you can't just not like something and move the fuck on. This is the shit. It bothers me. It's like we're not bored.
Well, to people who are like that, Fat Steven, I say this.
Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bitch.
But it's tired.
Yeah,
I don't care. Because they're the ones making you uncomfortable having to defend yourself because they automatically assume you're a certain type of personality.
Do you get much of that, John? Because, you are critical of a lot of things.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to what Steven was saying at the very beginning. If you watch any of our Black Pill streams, Spencer and I can get very heated in our arguments sometimes. I think I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it might have been over a month ago. We were talking about these Amazon commercials, and I was just saying how horrible they were, and I did not like them at all. With like the Rapunzel one, and then the Medusa one. The Medusa one was the one I really didn't like because she orders her sunglasses from Amazon, and then she like murders this bartender because he happens to like wink at like one of the girls at her table. But Spencer and I got like really heated about it, and we had a disagreement, but it's not like I'm disowning Spencer. I mean, he's my associate editor. We've had a relationship for 3+ years. We can disagree about something and talk it out, and yeah, we might get heated, but we did talk it out, and he's still my friend. So I don't know. That's just, I mean, people can have opinions. That's normal. That people disagree. Like even your friends are going to disagree with you. But the idea of like disowning someone over disagreeing over a fictional film is just I find that utterly ridiculous.
It is. It's like I'm going to unfriend you on Facebook, man.
The phrases I hate the most, who people think they can say this even if you're friends or not or whatever, is like, what is it? It's not for you. You just don't understand. Know your place. And there was my favorite. If you don't like, if you haven't watched it, don't say anything bad. But if you have watched it, don't say anything bad. Like constructive criticism is now considered the darkness of the yin and yang prospect. And you're saying like, when is this monkey going to shut up? Sorry. I'm having one of my moments.
It's just completely stupid, mate, because I'm trying to go back to what I also said. This is childish, and it's also like turning people against other people, that have supported in the past these very same reactions, just because they feel they are attacking something that they like. And it's just completely idiotic and childish. I mean, if I don't like that thing, but other people like it, fine. tell me why you like it, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. And we can have a civil discussion, and then grow from that. Learn something from that. I understand very well what Gary posted there on the Batman, and I agree with it. We have
what I
become
said
shit
earlier.
connoisseurs, and that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
mate.
What I find funny, and I make fun of people when they do this, when they assume what I mean. Nothing irritates me when while on Facebook, people actually ask me what I meant rather than on Twitter, where they just assume what you meant. And I'm like, you look like an idiot on Twitter. The guy on Facebook, I know what he was trying to get out on Facebook when he was going at me, but at least he asked me to explain myself in what I'm saying. Am I calling the film a piece of shit? I said, no, it is a very well varnished turd. Is what I'm saying.
I am definitely in the minority. I literally, when I walked out of the theater, I tweeted about. I probably
you were in the car going, "Oh my god, oh my
dude!"
god.
I probably said out loud 4 or 5 times during the movie, "Damn, this is good. Damn, this is good." Like that.
Was so hot.
So I don't know, man. Like to each their own.
You still feel that way?
Who, me?
Yeah, just curious.
Do I still feel like that? I thought it was a great fucking movie.
No, it's great to enjoy the film.
Yeah.
But I also, when I hear people say that, I automatically realize this person does not know anything about story structure and how
to write
a story.
My kidneys.
I'm not being offensive here. I just automatically, I hear that and I go, I'm just your average moviegoer and I don't know shit about how a story should be told. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. You like it. That's good. I'm actually giving you not just my personal opinion, I'm telling you my professional opinion of writing reviews and studying film and writing for 30 years. I was a professional journalist in the 90s, writing about film and interviewing celebrities and often insulting them while I interviewed them because it's always been my shtick.
John, you've seen it?
I have not seen it.
Okay.
He is a toddler. Again, he is a toddler.
I might be waiting for it to come on HBO Max. So it's like 45 days. So we'll see.
But it's
3 hours is a hefty.
It is. Like it's definitely. I mean, even though I liked it, it was too long. There was at least 20-30 minutes they could have taken out. Wouldn't have.
I couldn't drink my soda until we're in the second hour. So I knew I could make it to the bathroom in time. I didn't want to miss any of the movie.
Yeah, but I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway.
But the question is also,
dope.
Dork.
I know.
I didn't like the movie Dork. Okay, I was bored with it for some actual reasons. I felt like it was all over the place. When I say that, do you feel like I'm attacking you for liking it, or do you feel like you need to pitchfork me?
No, not at all.
There it is. That's why I want to keep maintaining. We seem to have lost that there.
Well, we're more level-headed. This group of people.
Keith is.
And this is something that I'm assuming is the same between you and Spencer. Because you did make a joke a little bit ago. I liked where is
that? He did. What am I, blue check mark?
Yeah. Imagine throwing my friendship with John away over a disagreement. What am I, a blue check mark? That's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. You should also pay attention to what he said before, that we need an ASMR with me voice,
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. If you see me, when you're saying something serious and you see me laughing in my window, I'm actually laughing at something somebody said in the chat because I read everything.
Join me on a magical adventure with asthma, laryngitis, and cigarettes. I am the translator for Viking of Time because no one else can understand what the fuck he is saying. Coming soon.
It's those limey pricks, man. They got those accents. I don't get it.
Did you hear that, Purple? I know that you're there in the chat.
Oh, I didn't say that about Purple.
I do want to say
Purple Valkyrie sounds more proper when she's talking. So,
but it's just another part of the city,
There was a lot of beautifully framed shots. I mean,
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
a beautiful varnish or.
Yeah,
look.
I really like I don't know how they do that.
He copied the look and feel of 2 other films. He copied Seven, and he copied Zodiac.
And another thing, little things I like because I'm a big movie score fan.
I just liked it. It was half the Empire Strikes Back theme.
It was they basically played off of the Nirvana song. Like the whole score was. Basically,
I wish they just used a soundtrack with actual Nirvana songs all the way.
Well, they did. They played that song twice, but like the score
played Ave Maria 3 times.
Mirrored that that song a lot, you know.
Yeah, but we're talking about
it was inspired by Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
but no one blew their brains out.
Really weird.
Oh, sorry, too soon.
It's such a weird never too soon. But I got to tell you,
Courtney loved it, but that's
we're going to go into Batman tomorrow. I don't want to go into it today. And you know, you're welcome to come on, Dork. Daniel.
Hey, only my mom calls me Daniel. You can call me Danny.
Listen here,
Daniel. Yes, no father.
But what I really want to get into really is what inspired you making Bounding into Comics? Because something led to you doing that. Where were you? What were you doing before you did it, and what inspired you?
Sure. So Bounding into Comics was initially just me reviewing comic books on my own. I think the first one I reviewed
in a blog or on Facebook or
it was a Blogspot actually. The first comic book I reviewed was Cal, COWL, by Kyle Higgins and Rod Reich, who now does a lot of Marvel stuff. And it was about a superhero union set in like the 1950s. I actually really liked it. It only went 11 issues, unfortunately. I guess not a lot of other people liked it, but I was bored at the job I had, and I was just kind of like twiddling my thumbs, and so I started reviewing comics on it. And then we eventually started doing like pressers and kind of stuff like that, and then we started doing opinion pieces. I think one of our opinion pieces was some kind of like Wonder Woman lunchbox being banned in some school, and then people were going after Ike Perlmutter because he happened to be like donated money to Donald Trump or something like that, and they were saying he's all the problems with Marvel TV, even though I think Marvel TV is some of the best stuff that Marvel's made. So yeah, they were trying to blame Ike Perlmutter for all this other stuff and claiming he's racist. He was the one who like shut down Black Panther and
this goes back to what we were talking
made
about
and stuff like that, which just hearsay that no evidence
to turn something into politics that has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started, and then we eventually we were getting press releases from Marvel and DC, and that eventually stopped. I think the last press release from Marvel I got was when they were turning Captain America into some kind of monarch or something like that. And I just ran some headline that was like, these people.
Was that around the time when he said Hell Hydra?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like right after that, maybe. Because he was like, he went into the future. Like one of the Captain Americas like went into the future. And the future is being basically, it was like a dystopian future. And he like becomes the king of the future or something like that. It was horrible. So we stopped getting press releases from Marvel Comics after that. We still get some from DC, but it's very sporadic. We usually just go to their website to look at that whatever they're doing. But that's kind of how it started, and then sold the website in 2017, which allowed me to work on it full time, and we've kind of grown it out from there. We've always kind of covered celebrity stuff. And obviously just movies, TVs, comics. We're doing more video games now. So we just keep on chugging along, keep on growing. We had our best year ever last year, and we're already on pace to beat that this year.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing it, man. All I know is I'm grateful that you're out there, man, because in the media today is just so much garbage. And so much of it is absolutely paid advertising for the studios and the publishers, and the publishers are often owned by the studios. So it's just so awful that we have only really yours and I hate even saying it along with yours, but Cosmic Book News. That
there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I like Cosmic. I consider the journalistic integrity of your site a bit higher.
Okay.
You were somebody that I would have worked for when that was what I wanted to do.
I mean, that's something Spencer can attest to this. That's something that I'm very like particular about. I always like one of our big things is always just citing our sources. We used to just embed tweets, but people kept deleting them. So it was like, we're like screenshot them now, if you can. So that's what we do now. We're always show. I mean, I believe in the show don't tell stuff. Like obviously we tell too, but we want to show. We show you the evidence, what these people are saying. So it's just, I mean, they can't, like, it's hard. That's why it's probably why we don't get a lot of hate. I don't get a lot of personal hate mail. I mean, because that's all the evidence is there. It's hard to refute our reporting.
Yeah,
but it was funny.
It's all if you want to send hate mail, send it my way. I'm not against it. I probably won't respond, but
yeah, don't let your butt get hurt when he doesn't respond. Courtney says, John, who is your favorite character of all time? And I'm assuming that's comic book.
Well, I'll just go favorite character, not comic book. Darth Vader is my favorite character of all time.
So you don't know the power of the dark side.
He knows the power of the dark side, and he eventually rejects it. So
yeah, because that's what I try to
throw the Emperor down a mine shaft.
The Darth Vader story is a story of personal redemption, and
yes.
So when Disney flips the character, a person who's a villain, and tries to show them as a gray character or actually as a hero who turns to villainy, is weak, and it doesn't work that way. And the first argument that's always brought up is, well, what about Darth Vader? And I'm like, it's a redemption story, because he was a villain. There was no gray area. He was a bad guy. He killed.
He was
killed children.
Right?
Yeah.
Killed children.
Well, we didn't know that until
the
prequels. But yeah, we found that out that he was.
Yeah.
He did some really heinous stuff.
I don't like Darth Vader anymore.
He's exactly what Fat Steven was talking about. He decided to literally try and kill his best friend and his mentor because he obviously there was more than just a disagreement over a film, though.
Yeah. Well, I got a deadline to meet, so I got to head out, guys. But I'll definitely jump back on tomorrow. It's great meeting you.
Yeah, it'll be at noon tomorrow, buddy.
Nice meeting you too.
That's noon Central Time.
Yeah, 10 a.m. my time. I got it. All right. I'll see you then.
Right.
Y'all take
Fuck
care.
off, buddy. See you later.
Cheers, dork.
And then my favorite comic book character is probably the Shadow. I like the Shadow a lot.
Oh my God, Cranston!
Do you think,
what a great character.
Do you think the Shadow pulled the trigger or no?
The Shadow pulled the trigger?
I was making an Alec Baldwin joke.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Even Gary was like,
what are you talking about? He shot people all the time.
Yeah, that's what I was just like. Yes, of course he pulled the trigger. He has those 1911s for a reason.
oh, come on, guys.
But yeah, no, I do too. I mean, I think it's
the lame joke of the day was brought to you by Fat Steven Seagal. All hate mail go to Fat Steven Seagal.
Answering that question, I do think he did too. I mean, I find it very hard.
He
that
absolutely
he
did. Yeah. Look, man, what's his name? John Schneider called him out perfectly.
Yeah.
And he went.
Yeah, we covered that.
Inch by inch explaining how it works. And he showed the actual same model gun, how it works. Yeah. You cannot accidentally pull that trigger unless you pull the fucking hammer back.
Right. And, well, so he contradicts himself in that ABC News interview too. He says at one point that he pulled it back and he cocked the gun. And then in another segment, because that was I hate that ABC News interview because it's clearly so chopped up.
Yeah, and they didn't. Yeah, they edited it like crazy.
Yeah,
and quickly would just rush past all the controversial shit.
Yeah, but he
called him on it.
But even then, they still have him saying he cocked it at one point, and then another point he's saying he didn't cock it. So,
yeah, he's a fucking liar. And look, if it was an accident, it's an accident. But it's still,
he's still responsible, even if it's
a homicide.
Even if it was, it's clearly as an accident because he probably didn't think the gun was loaded.
Well, every actor has this same stance that because I worked in stage and I've worked in film. That yes, the person handing you that gun holds a great deal of responsibility, but you're holding that weapon and it's your responsibility to check it yourself.
Exactly.
Know what you're wielding, because a lot of guns aren't prop guns. They're guns. They just happen to be capable of firing blanks, and those are all your revolvers and your lever action weapons.
Right.
Automatic weapons, it has to be specifically modified to have a smaller hole for the gas to escape when it's firing. So it pushes back and causes it to eject the shell because it's a gas-operated automatic weapon. By the way, that's why it's called an automatic weapon and not a semi-automatic weapon. People are fucking idiots. They don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Semi-automatic is something that's used in the military specifically for a fully automatic weapon that you can switch to semi on a fully automatic weapon. But when you're talking about pistols, they're all called automatic pistols for a reason, because they got the blowback that causes it to eject the shell. It's an automatic loader. But then again, I grew up around guns, so I know that shit. But John, we are at an hour and 14 minutes. We're coming up to the end of the show. Anything you want to promote or talk about that you're doing right now?
Yeah, so we have the Black Hill stream that we do every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We usually go for 3 hours.
So I can share that with everybody.
The YouTube channel?
In our private chat.
Yeah. Let me find it here.
In fact, I better go to the channel and bless you with a mod so you can actually promote stuff during the show while we're on the show. I do that with all of our guests and our panel.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so we do the Black Hill stream Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We usually go to midnight. Sometimes we go a little bit later. I don't think we've ever gone shorter.
I just made Kabuto
3 hours
moderator, so Kabuto can do it too.
Next week we'll have Comics Division as our guest. Last week this week we didn't have it. We didn't have any guests, but we had Gary from Nerdrotic. Last week we have had Chuck Dixon on the show.
Gary, or as I refer to it, the other white meat.
We've had Ryan Kinnell. We've had Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamers. So we have guests. I try and get guests every week. So I was trying to get Lorena Creole to join us this past week, but she had a conflict. I guess she does the Dark Council stream at 8:30, so they overlap. So we weren't able to get her.
She's a very busy person. We tried to get her on for our third anniversary / passing 3,000 subs episode, and she just couldn't make it. And it sucks because she's an awesome person.
Yeah, so we have all different kinds of guests on. I mean, we've had Drew Hernandez, who's now famous for testifying in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. We had him on before he did that. Before any of that happened, he was on our stream. We've had Jack Posobiec on, who is obviously primarily a political commentator, but he also created Agent Poso, which was scripted by Chuck Dixon, graphic novel. So he has done the comic book stuff too, which everyone seems to be getting in on the comic book stuff. What's her name? Just is doing a comic book now. True Lies chick. Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis is doing a eco horror.
Oh my god, yeah!
Based off of her movie that's coming out, and looks like just climate change stuff. But yeah, so that's what we do on the Black Pill stream. We usually just talk about 3 or 4 topics of interest that week. It just depends on what's happening that week. And then sometimes, obviously, if we have a guest, we're talking to the guest about certain topics and what's happening with that guest. But yeah, that's what we do on YouTube. And then obviously we update the website pretty much every single day. Not as much on the weekends, but usually we have like 10 to 15 articles every day during the week. And I try and do 5
a week. I'm always open. Keith and I are always open.
Yeah, sure. I'll have to get you on. I'll definitely have to get you guys on the show. It'd be a blast. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's not just me. It's Spencer's on there, associate editor, and then we've got one of our
channel, John.
We've got one of our writers, Josh, is on there as well. So we have good fun on there.
I thought it was so funny. Like when you first started doing it, I would giggle at how uncomfortable you looked doing the show. You were like,
on the Black Pill stream, yeah.
It's like I used to watch it. I was like, oh my god, he looks so uncomfortable. Why?
I'm definitely an introvert, so I'm not. And like my frame of mind when I first kind of started this stuff, because I was just very cautious on what I was saying and what my opinions were and how I was expressing those, because I was very aware. I'm still very aware, but less cautious. But I was very aware of how they like wanted to paint you as these like real life villains. And now I'm matured, and I'm much more stronger in my thought and my will, and don't really care what these people have to say about me anymore.
Yeah, it's important, because I've been attacked a lot over the years for my opinion. I've had people try to cancel me, and I'm like, you don't understand. I don't fucking care. So you're just wasting energy on me. I'm not going to respond. Don't give a shit. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, whether you like it or not.
Who would be against you, Gary? Being such a lovely sweetheart you are.
I know. It's not like I'm a dick or anything.
That's actually something I try and work on now. I try not to even respond to a lot of these. Like on Twitter, I was definitely probably responding too much to a lot of people, and just like even mocking them and kind of just belittling them and just kind of playing into that. And I try not to do that as much anymore. And I try to just ignore them. I will like try and correct people if it's very obvious they haven't read the article, which happens quite a bit.
Yeah, they read the headline.
Yeah, it's like they'll say something and it's like, well, that's the exact opposite of what the article says. So you clearly didn't read it.
Yeah, I was being ironic with my headline. Yeah. If you don't read it, you don't know that.
And so I'll respond to that. It's usually like read the article or something like that. Someone I did respond yesterday to someone. They it was really very strange. They tweeted at us and was like, "You're pro cancel culture, or you're blocked or something like that." And so I just respond. This is a thing I do now. I just usually respond with like one of our other articles. So I'm like promoting the website at the same time.
Is that fake account that's imitating you guys still active? And maybe they thought you were them and they were.
Oh, I have no idea. I think they just misinterpreted our Ryan Cannell story, because we were reporting on people going after Cannell, and I guess they thought we were dogpiling on them or something. I don't know.
Oh, because his statement about Batman.
Yeah, because he had that one comment about how he said that there were 2 good white characters and 3 good black characters or non-white characters, and I guess people were misinterpreting that as saying that he's upset because there was just more good black characters than white characters. Which
I just think people just wanted to attack someone because they have a hate for Geeks and Gamers crew.
Oh yeah.
I'm reading the chat right now, and I got to tell you, Ryan Cannell was just making a point. That's all he was doing.
I mean, he made it very clear. He was talking about identity politics, and he was saying that this was part of the trend in Hollywood, and he was kind of pointing it out. And he was saying that, he did another video where he was kind of clarifying what he was saying, where he's talking about how all the other white people in the movie, except for Batman and Alfred, were evil, which I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if that's true or not, but.
Well, it's sort of like
I trust Ryan. So
with the check mark, with the whole check mark thing, you have this issue that I run into all the time, which is we talked about earlier in this episode, was that they inflate the numbers of these identities that they're trying to push into the zeitgeist. And the fact is as well as I do that yes, I have gay people in my life. Yes, I know a lot of gay people. They're friends of mine. I have a son who is very flaming gay. And so therefore, when I'm around them, they're a part of that percentage. But I'm not always around people of different ethnicities or sexual identities. And they try to make it to where it's always statistically there. And that doesn't make sense. It's not close to real life. I find it really forced when you show a bunch of people interacting with each other in a commercial, and then the only 2 people you show interact with each other intimately is the gay couple. Everybody else is just acting like everything you do every day. All of us do it every day. Every single straight, gay, whatever, does it every day. Putting groceries away, talking around a table, and then all of a sudden 2 girls have to stop and they're going to move into a kiss and the door shuts, and I'm like, come on, give me a fucking break. What was that really selling? I get so tired.
What it's selling.
It's
don't even know what
porn on Pornhub.
It's the forced politics that they're selling. It has nothing to do with reality, and it's weird.
I mean, that's I think what those Amazon commercials, going back to those, it's like I did not even realize that there were Amazon commercials. I told my mom, I was like, "Do you remember that?" I was talking to her about it, and I was like, "You know that? Have you seen that Amazon commercial with Medusa?" And she was like, "Oh, I had no idea. That's an Amazon commercial. I didn't even know what that was." I like because you don't because it's like not clear. Like I think it's like very and like there's like a little bit in the beginning where they like are ordering their product from Amazon, but it's clearly hard to tell what exactly it is if you aren't really.
Spencer says it right here. There was a study that showed that minorities, both racial and sexuality wise, are overrepresented in Western media. And it's true. It is true. But the thing is, I'm not going to argue, because look, if you have a new superhero character you've created and you pick a person of some different, race, Asian, Black, whatever, that's not problematic. That's good. I think we do need more represented Black characters from the comics. They have a plethora of superheroes from comics that they don't seem to want to go to.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll even
ignore them. And instead they want to flip other characters. And it's like, stop doing that. You need to respect the creators.
Yeah.
I'll make this argument. I don't care about quote unquote representation at all. I like Blade as a character, and he happens to be Black. I like Bass Reeves. There's a comic that Legion's Arts publishing about a real life historical figure named Bass Reeves, U.S. Marshal. Absolutely awesome comic, and he happens to be Black. I mean, he's a cool character, and he just happens to be Black. Like I like Batman, and he just happens to be white. I mean. Yeah, I like those characters because of what they're like, what the stories that they're involved in, and what they're doing, and kind of like what they stand for, and they happen to be whatever race that they were created to be. My issue is when, like you were saying, is when they take these characters like or they'll like a character like Riri Williams. Yeah, she's a new character, but she's just a Tony Stark derivative. She's not her own.
Well, that's the problem is
real character.
That's still race
and then they're trying to use her to replace Tony Stark. It's the same thing.
It's race and sex swapping, and it's
so
annoying.
That's where I have. That's what I have issues.
By the way, I know David Williams, really good guy, and I loved when I got to see the art way before it got published.
I'm looking forward to a collected edition of that. What's his name said they're gonna make one, so I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna get that because
By the way, that top secret group I was talking about is actually it's just a comic pro group, people who work professionally in the comic industry in some shape or form, and of course David. I met David through that group, and I got pulled into the group because of Chuck Dixon, Graham Nolan, and Dave Dorman, because Dave and his wife Denise are close friends of mine.
Yeah.
And she's got me a lot of work. She's amazing, by the way. If you've never met her, Denise,
I haven't like met her in person, but I know her through Facebook.
She's amazing. And
might be in that group that you're
Dave knows how lucky he is to have her as a wife. But Kevin Graveau, the co-creator of Underworld, is the writer on Bass Reeves.
On Bass Reeves,
I fucking love that dude, man.
Yeah, he's creating. I think he did a deal with Zenoscope, I think. He did a deal with some comic book publisher where he's creating new Black characters. And it's like, these look cool. Take a look and read them. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
here. I want to show it because I pulled it up here.
Yeah, this Bass Reeves stuff is really cool.
Look at that artwork, man. I hope they get a movie or a TV deal out of this comic because it's amazing. And I've been reading about Bass Reeves since I was a boy. And that is a character.
It's got quite a story. Yeah.
There's this one story with Bass Reeves where his son, he goes to arrest his own son because his son is like accused of murder, I believe. I hear that fan that you're talking about.
Yeah, I muted him. He forgot to mute.
That's just such an interesting story that he actually has to go and arrest his son, his own son, and he does it. He goes and hunts him down and arrests him.
Yeah, and and what's funny is like Keith even had this wrong. He said that the Lone Ranger was based on him. I said, no, he's not based on him. He's based on somebody else. But some of his exploits were put into the Lone Ranger stories. And there's no doubt of it in the early versions of the Lone Ranger. And so Bass Reeves did have an impact on what the Lone Ranger did.
Yeah, I guess that's still inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that Denzel Washington's character in the latest Magnificent Seven is based at least in part on him.
I think you're right. I really do. And a lot of people didn't like that film, and I fucking loved it. Not as much as I love the original, but I do love that film. I thought they did a damn good job of adapting it because it's still based on a Japanese samurai film. It's based on the Seven Samurai. And which is, if you've never seen it, go fucking watch it. What's wrong with you, you heathen? What a great fucking movie. Akira Kurosawa. You just don't get any better than I just forgot his name, the movie star that played him, one of the samurai in that, Toshiro Mifune. I've done a lot of Toshiro Mifune tattoo designs for people because when they saw my first Toshiro Mifune samurai drawing, they're like, holy shit, I want a tattoo like that. I'm like, yeah, pay me, I'll do it. And I'm not going to do the tattoo, but I'll design it for you.
Right.
Take somebody else to do it. But
it's like my cousin. She does she knits, so she buys the patterns and then she does the knitting herself.
Yeah, exactly. But the whole thing that I have a problem with is, and Spencer kind of brings it up here, it's the whole derivative thing, where instead of being original, you're deriving it from something else. And that's my problem with Batman. It is not its own film. See, Christopher Nolan made those films his own. They're intelligently written. They're not the comic book Batman, but they had enough elements in there that engaged me, and I really did enjoy them. Whereas this is, it was Christopher Nolan's Batman thrown into Seven and Zodiac.
Oh, we're talking Batman again.
Yeah, and well, I'm just bringing.
I love Batman Begins. I would argue that Batman Begins is very comic book Batman.
Well, yeah,
Chuck Dixon, and there's lots of
there's elements in there from all of them.
Yeah,
and but the second film really kind of went off on its own, and he was making a statement, and I get it. I liked what he did. The third film, a lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed it. It was a bit long in the tooth, but I enjoyed it.
It's very recent.
I didn't think that was society. Yeah. So, but
give it to you, the people. Sham trials and everything. Yeah.
So we've got what's this? Bass Reeves inspired the Lone Ranger. He inspired stories, but not the original design or creation of the Lone Ranger.
He's a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah, he was a U.S. Marshal. And I don't know what his situation was before he became a marshal. I read it years ago, and I just don't remember it. Hey, let me be racist. Hey, Sil, do you know? Because I'm asking black guys. Don't you know? Gary's racist.
Clearly racist.
But well, I think we've come to the end of the show. Bass Reeves is a good way to go out because I really do want to see that as a TV show or as a movie because this is a character who should have already been in a movie or a TV show.
Especially after they used him in The Watchmen, that first episode of that horrible Watchmen show, he was in there.
God.
Yeah, once again, another one of those shows that points its finger at the audience and then goes,
"Yeah,
why are they leaving? Because you're pointing your finger at us, and I don't like it."
Yeah.
Are you uncomfortable with
to watch it?
Yeah, that's not me you're talking about. You're talking about somebody else, and I don't know fucking who it is.
It wasn't entertainment. It should have been a documentary, like chastising, like the whole time. That's what I felt watching that.
Well, when they are pointing their fingers, like Gary says, you just walk away. I don't know who you're talking about, so then I'm just getting bored. So I'm out.
I don't even recognize who you're talking about, so I'm not interested in hearing this. But what is Martin say? I love all three of Nolan's Batman. Yeah. And the only thing sad about all of those Batman films is none of them gave thanks to Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan until finally this film. And so I commend it for that.
So I hopped on a stream with John Del Rose the other day. It was like last 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah. And Ethan Van Sciver was on the stream. and he was saying, I probably should just ask Chuck this because he probably give me the answer. But Ethan was saying that the reason why they're not credited is because they cut a deal where they could do their maxi series with Bane.
No, that's not right. I know
Okay.
what happened there was they fucked up by not giving them credit, and to make up for it, gave them the rights to the maxi series. And it's like they took it. It's a paycheck, you know. But they still had to work to get paid.
Ask Chuck about that. He wasn't gonna really say anything. He's just like, lawyers were involved.
They're not gonna say anything.
And I was like, okay.
Guys, I don't give a shit. You know, so I'm gonna say what happened. No, that was, you know, that's not.
No, I mean, that's the whole other thing with these companies too, man. They don't treat people right. Just even the people that have done yeoman's work for them throughout the years, I just don't think they don't respect them, and they don't treat them right. And obviously it's work for hire stuff, right? I get that, but at the same time, you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're making like millions of dollars off of these movies that these guys have like put in years of their life on. I mean, just treat them right.
Well, exactly. And I can't give any names here, but I had my own personal experience because of my friendship with Chuck, and I've worked with Chuck, and I was going to be brought on to Marvel a few years back, and it got found out during the process that I have working in personal relationship with Chuck Dixon, and the head at the time of Marvel. I'm not going to say hated.
Alonzo? I'm
going to say fucking hated Chuck Dixon and anything.
Is that Axel Alonso?
His words were, "He'll never work for Marvel, not while I'm here."
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And so during the hiring process, they were sexing me up. I didn't contact Marvel; they contacted me, and they were very interested in this stuff. And I was friends with the cousin of the person in charge of hiring me, and it's the only reason I found out what happened. Is that all of a sudden they just stopped talking to me and stopped responding to me. And I was just like, what the fuck? Did I say something? And I went back and read my emails to make sure I didn't call someone a cocksucker or something like that, you know? And then I'm like, what happened? So I went to the person, a friend of mine. And so they checked into it for me and came back and says, you can't say I told you this, but your friendship with Chuck Dixon. So I told Chuck, I said, yeah, you cost me a job, you bastard. By being friends with you, but I'd rather be friends with him than work for Marvel. I mean,
Chuck seems to be doing pretty well. He's got that, I guess it's like a PayPal or whatever, or no, Patron, where he's funding his own comics now.
And he's doing a good job. Him and Graham both are just kicking ass. And
Billy Tucci, all these guys are doing really well with the
independent comics is where it's at now. The major publishers they're dying, and they don't know they're dying. They've got a cancer, and they're afraid of getting the diagnosis.
Yeah. And look at my 4 books on the shelf. They're all indies.
They're all independent. Not one of them is.
I've got Marvel and stuff behind there, but yeah, the ones I like to highlight.
Yeah, and as far as I plan to ever go is I have a working relationship and a personal relationship with the folks at IDW. And if they ask me, I will do work like this G.I. Joe thing. And they offered that to me, and I'm like, hell yeah. You know, I was hired for G.I. Joe in 2014, 2013 by Andy Schmidt. And Andy, the last thing he did before he left was hire me. And then he went to work for Hasbro directly. And he told the person coming in, I was his new cover guy. Use this guy, good artist. And then I was told later that the guy that took over, I'm not going to say his fucking name, didn't want to work with me because I'm conservative and a veteran. That he apparently has a grudge against veterans and conservatives.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, I'm not even that conservative. I'm
literally
moderate.
He publishes a G.I. Joe book.
Well, you look at where G.I. Joe went, though.
Yeah.
Under his control. And then I was like, oh, it makes sense now. Okay. But Tom, being who he is, because I love Tom Waltz. He's a very good friend of mine. I love that guy. He immediately made up for that mistake and brought me in to do really one of the last G.I. Joe covers before they get released from their contract with Hasbro.
It's probably I mean,
we don't know. We don't
where it's going to go
exactly where it's going to go, but the rumor is we know the rumors, which is going to be Dark Horse.
Oh, Dark Horse, really? Okay.
That's one of the rumors we heard.
I figured they got Power Rangers already.
Well, the thing is, though, it's also rumored they're getting Lucasfilm back with Indiana.
They are. No, that's not rumored. That's already confirmed.
I haven't announced confirmed. Where'd it get confirmed?
No, I have we did that like months ago.
Really?
They're getting new Star Wars books. Yeah. I had a press release on that.
That's fantastic because but I told people, I said, don't get too excited because you got woke people working at Lucasfilm and you got woke people working at Dark Horse now.
Yeah.
So
they announced that in November.
It's like getting it back at Dark Horse doesn't guarantee that it's not going to be woke.
Yeah, it's not like your.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
You're not going to get Legacy, which I don't. There it is.
Yeah, because these are new people working there, and
it says Marvel, but this is Dark Horse stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? Also,
that's Dave Dorman's artwork, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Dave Dorman made beautiful Star Wars
students. We're both students of Drew Struzan, the great Star Wars and Indiana Jones artist. And I mean, he really was personally my mentor, even though he says, well, all I did was, and I'm like, no, dude, you're my mentor.
So many of those old Lucasfilm guys are super humble. I was reading an interview of one of the guys who did the matte paintings of Hoth for Empire Strikes Back. And he was just very thankful to be working on that and that he was able to just apply his artistic abilities to the film. Very humble.
The one person that pops in my head was Urich, but I don't think that he was Blade Runner.
He just did an interview with Star Wars interviews.
Neil Krepla? Or Michael Lawler? Hold on, let me look it up.
The way he does this is not chronological.
Okay, we got Neil Krepla, Robert Elswit, Craig Barron, and Michael Lawler are four of them that are mentioned as glass painters or matte artists. I'm trying to see if there's any others.
None of those names are standing out, but I don't. Where is it here? There it is.
Michael Pangrazio did the Hoth painting here in this one.
That's what that name sounds familiar.
That might be the person you're talking about.
It's the hangar painting too. I think is one of them that he did. Yeah, Michael Pangrazio.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the guy, and he's just so humble. StarWarsInterviews.com. Yeah.
Yeah, because I do an impression of Drew because I've talked to him so many times. He's very soft spoken. Oh, Gary, let me tell you, because I got a phone call from him. Drew Struzan, the great Star Wars movie poster artist.
Okay, you're right.
And Drew, he did the Pan's Labyrinth poster, which my daughter got the first print of, and my daughter was 7, and she wanted to see that movie so badly, and I called him to tell him we're going to be seeing it the next week, and he says, "Well, I'm going to go see a premiere of it tonight. Very excited. I'll be seeing it with Guillermo and the entire crew." So like a day goes by, and then I get a phone call from him, almost frantic. "Oh, Gary, don't take your daughter to see that. It's very it's very violent and rapey."
Yeah,
and it's because of his phone call. I didn't take my daughter to see the movie. I'm like, oh my God. She was really upset. Like, I wanted to see it. She finally got to see it on DVD or Blu-ray a few years later when she was old enough. But Drew's like that. I know a lot of those artists, man. Some of them are gone now. And all of them really were very humble in many ways. I've hardly ever run into a movie or a great comic artist who wasn't humble.
Yeah, I talk with Jerry Bingham sometimes on social media, and he's always happy when he sees us use his Batman artwork as featured images and stuff like that. He's very humble too.
Yeah, I know that Tom Waltz referred to me as the new generation's Al Williamson, but I think he was doing that to stroke my ego because he knows I'm a big Al Williamson fan, that he probably had the greatest impact on me as an artist other than Drew Struzan, because I did a lot of portraiture. And when I do portraits, it's very similar to how Drew does it. And, but when I'm doing comic art, it's more like Al Williamson, very realistic people, shit like that, drawn very realistically. So, but Tickle Trunk is here. What's up, my brother? He is, of course, a proud member of our club. I don't know what to refer to it as, Pop Culture Minefield membership thing that we do. And I should have you on just for our membership, just have you on and talk a little bit.
Sure.
Shoot the breeze. But welcome, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I'm sorry the show's ending. We're winding down because we're old. And poor John has an 18-month
Friday.
It's Friday, man. It's Friday. You ain't got a job. I'm gonna get you so high. No.
Got shit to do.
Shit to do. Or Keith. Sorry, I didn't tell you. Keith had to leave. His family arrived in
I saw
something.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
He messaged me over on Facebook to let me know he had to go, and I'm like, okay. But Mr. Tickle Trunk with the hashtag Backdoor Gary, which we're no longer allowed to talk about on the show.
I don't know. I don't want to know about that.
Do you know Polly from Latino Slant?
You don't, but you do, John.
Polly from Latino Slant jokingly.
I've never met him, but I've heard of him.
I love Polly. He's a good friend. And Polly called me Backdoor Gary. And then two of the moderators, one including our production manager, Zach's, and Jedi 6, got a hold of it and just started turning it into a stupid thing. And I have no ego. I don't mind being laughed at. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But we've been told by production that because we do have an executive producer on the show, and he's put money into our show to get us to rise because we just weren't trying. We're just doing a show, having fun. But now it's like, look, my art career is ending within 2 years. I'm not going to be able to do comics anymore because of an injury to my neck. Mm-hmm. And it's causing a form of paralysis in my right arm. So I have to sit a certain way. I have to draw on my chest. I have a tablet that I draw on. And, but I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm working with Mike Barron on a comic with one of my best friends in the whole world, Richard Bonk, who's an amazing fucking artist.
Is that the Punisher comic he was talking about? Like his version of the Punisher?
It's his Punisher, Mike Barron's Punisher that we love so much. Mike Barron's the one that he changed the Punisher into what we see now. That's his Punisher. And he does it with so many things that he touches. He puts his spin on it, and it's really good. He's very dark. Great guy, but he is dark in his writing. He's a very dark writer. But I love that about him. And so we're doing a comic book together called Private American. And Richard took over on the artwork, and I'm doing all the lettering and the coloring on it. And then Richard and I are also doing a comic for somebody else, because Richard and I have worked together a lot. We love each other. We love working together. And he's one of my favorite fucking people. If you don't know who Richard Bonk is, you look him up after this conversation, John. Look at his fucking dinosaur work, because I worked on 2 dinosaur comics with him. And nobody draws a dinosaur like Richard Bonk. Nobody. Or sexy women, to be honest. He can draw sexy women. Because we did the Jingar comic with Mark May. And that's where I met Sarah Frazetta. Good stuff, man. Go check that out. Go check out Richard Bonk. Yeah, look it up right now. Go ahead. I want you to. I want to see that look of awe when you see Richard Bonk art, because there are 2 Richard Bonks. You want the comic artist one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
I gotta go soon, dude.
Yeah, we're going too. And but I wanted. Yes. What about a sexy dinosaur? It's not a sexy dinosaur. It's a sexy girl, and a dinosaur. Jesus, Mr. Tickle Trunk, you fuck up everything. Pat says, "Law, don't go round at Lord Thoth." Okay. Martin Acosta, I'm glad you guys stuck with us. Our crowd grew into the 20s and dropped back down to 16. But you watch over the next few days, this will have a few hundred watches, because people eventually see the stream and they'll come watch and they'll go, oh, look, John Trent. I hate that guy. The only thing I hate more than John Trent
get those hate views
is this fucking asshole that hosts the show. What a dick. But if you want to, sometime you can be a guest on Sills and my show. We do a show, airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, called The Scoop Zone, where we start talking about Mikey Sutton scoops. And it would be interesting to get your spin on some of the things he's talking about.
Yeah, we cover lots of those Sutton scoops, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mikey Sutton is batting 1,000.
My name.
He has a lot of
videos.
Go see Sills videos. I will say they're okay.
He's kind of changed up the way Mikey kind of changes up the way he reports on stuff now. He doesn't really do I haven't seen a lot of scoops lately from them. It's usually he's got other people.
Well, he has scoops and he holds on to them until he knows it's the right time or has just enough corroboration. But he also, he's got writers there that do the same thing that your crew does, which is they write articles about other scoops and stories and
videos. Gary, Mikey breaks a lot live before.
He'll do it right on Sill's show, and he's done it on our show. In fact, we were the first show, not you, Sill, that brought Mikey Sutton to the zeitgeist because he had never done a show before. Sill.
Well, I got him on that contract now, so you gotta.
Okay, can the two guys from Brokeback Minefield?
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Minefield right now. Just chill.
I love Sill. He's such a great addition to our team. I fucking love talking to him. Man. We just need to get him up closer to the camera, so he's actually on the show, not
That's
someone.
my thing.
Yeah,
well, only because I'm building up eventually. I'm gonna have a nice background eventually. Okay.
Yeah, you look about as far away as I am.
Exactly. Thanks, John.
Like on your screen.
Sill is the only man who sends me hate mail.
No, you're a little closer. You're a little closer.
He's like,
I mean, you can see like all these like gardening supplies.
Yeah, if I had a shelf, it would look.
Yeah, I see the spray for laying down weed killer.
No, that's actually a water. There's water in that. My sister-in-law has her like behind the bookshelf. There's like a bunch of plants that she's preparing to plant in the backyard, but she's been growing them through the winter.
Oh yeah. Oh hey,
there's a big like UV light back there too. You just can't see it now.
Magitech Mags is here. Hell, what's up? We're getting the. I think we got a few folks from Midnight's Edge because they went long today. Let's see. The lovely Sherry. I told you she'd show up. I couldn't imagine her not making it.
Hello, Sherry.
She's the lovely Sherry. And like I said, just such a cute girl and seems like just the nicest person until you in a private chat with her and she starts sending the just filthiest fucking memes. I'm like,
I can't wait. Fuck? I can't wait for that experience.
Yeah, I don't think you're ready for it, man. I don't think you are.
I may not be. Lovely Sherry. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. But I want to welcome everybody and thank you for showing up. It's been a great show. I want to thank our guest of honor today, the one and only John Trent. Making it large.
Thank you for having me.
Inflate that ego, make him feel important. It's so important.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird.
I know the first time when I'm a guest on a show, I get aggravated when they do it. I don't like it. I'm like, stop it. Put me back to normal.
I'm glad John told you that, Gary.
Yeah.
So, hey, Sherry, I'm ready. I'm ready, Sherry.
I want to do our outro. If you don't mind, stick around just for a few seconds after the show, John, so we can talk a little bit. Sure. But I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I will give another shout out to all my friends with this weird non sequitur Monty Python moment.
And here is the neighbor who told us where they were.
And there you have it. This is the end of the show. And as Keith normally and I do say, I will go ahead and say it. Get it for lawns. We're old men. We don't like that. Stop it. Get out of here. Go have a life. Thanks for coming.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.